So, as a kid, you have probably been asked the question, who is your favorite superhero and why? Well, mine, hands down, is Superman. I've loved him since I was a little kid, not just because he can fly or because he's extremely strong and has the super speed and all of that, but because he genuinely wants to help people. He stands for truth, justice, and doing the right thing. What's not to love, right? Now, my kids, on the other hand, they did not inherit my taste in superheroes. They are 100% loyal to Spider-Man. My 5-year-old and 2-year-old boys are especially devoted to him. I'm not talking like the movies, but I'm talking the full identity commitment. Last summer, we were at the park and we were eating lunch when my 5-year-old saw another kid do a flip. He grabbed my arm and he pulled me to the side like we were about to discuss something of great utmost importance. And he whispers very seriously, "Mommy, that is the real Spider-Man." I nodded, trying to take the matter as serious as he was. And he leaned closer and he said, "Mommy, me and him," and he points back to that kid that did the flip, "me and him are the real and final, lastest Spider-Man. The final, lastest Spider-Man." Apparently, Marvel, has been notified. Fast forward to kindergarten. He's about to go into kindergarten, my 5-year-old. And we go to Walmart for some school supplies. Just supposed to be a simple trip, but instead, he wants everything Spider-Man. And thankfully, Walmart did not let us down. He got a Spider-Man backpack, a Spider-Man lunchbox, Spider-Man jacket, Spider-Man shoes, and probably something else Spider-Man that I'm not thinking of right now. If they would have had, Spider-Man broccoli, he probably would have ate that. But on the first day of school, he just ran in so excited. He was all Spider-Man. Well, fast forward a little bit, Christmas came, and a cousin at her family Christmas party gave him a gift of a large Spider-Man action figure. And that toy immediately was the favorite toy. It became the full-time member of our household. That Spider-Man attended bath time, Spider-Man joined movie night, Spider-Man joined family scripture study and prayer, although he was definitely not always reverent or very nicely behaved. But Spider-Man was there. Spider-Man ate chicken nuggets with us. Spider-Man supervised outside playtime. Spider-Man even got free rides on top of our very confused dogs. That action figure has definitely seen some things. Then a couple of months ago, our 5-year-old came to me with a very serious matter he wanted to tell me about. He had this expression that he was going to reveal some very classified information. He said, "Mommy, I have a secret." And when your kid tells you that, you kind of, get worried and be like, "Oh, great." I was bracing myself thinking, did he break the window? What happened? So he says, "I have a secret." He says, "I am the real Spider-Man. When I was 3, I got bitted by a special magic spider, and he gave me my powers. So now, Mommy, I am Spider-Man." I did what any responsible parent would do. I tried very, very hard not to laugh or smile at him. I tried to take him very serious. I nodded and I asked, "Oh, really? What are your powers?" And then he starts to tell me about his web abilities and stuff, and he's so excited to tell me and how he's going to save the world. And his 6-year-old sister comes in and she says, "Spider-Man isn't real." And that did it. Just like that, his superhero story was canceled. He was done. He just fell apart. He ran into his room sobbing, and I stood there in the kitchen thinking, oh, what do I do? Poor kid, poor guy. So I'm like, okay, do I defend Marvel? Do I tell him that Spider-Man isn't real? I talked to him. I talked to his sister first, and I, tell her, hey, you don't tell him that Spider-Man isn't real. You be nice to your little brother. Let him believe in his superhero Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man is this kid's best friend. He just admires him so much. And in the end, I sat down with him and told him some things. I said, Spider-Man, even if he isn't real, he stands for bravery and kindness, and those things are important, and it's important to help people and try to be a hero where we can be. And honestly, if there were a final lastest Spider-Man out there, I'm pretty sure he'd be 5 years old, wearing mismatched spider gear, riding on a dog into battle to save the day. So, as I said, I am a loyal Superman fan. I admire the calm strength, the moral compass, and standing up for what's right. Meanwhile, in my house, we were apparently raising a much more chaotic version of Spider-Man. At first, our beloved Spider-Man action figure, he was a hero. He rode the dogs bravely into battle. He attended bath time. He protected us. He was insightful with his scripture study. But then leadership changed. Our 2-year-old took over. And then, let me tell you, his Spider-Man started making some really naughty choices. Instead of riding the dogs, I began to notice the dogs would sprint up the stairs in absolute panic, running from a small toddler chasing them wildly as he's swinging around this Spider-Man action figure like it's nunchucks, just swinging him around. The dogs are terrified. Our peaceful sleeping cat awakened not by gentle affection, but by a plastic fist to the face. Spider-Man attacking the cat. Spider-Man was no longer our friendly, sweet neighborhood and family friend. He had entered his villain era. About a week and a half before Christmas, things escalated. I was upstairs and I heard some loud banging noises, but I ignored it because with as many little kids as I have, there is always some level of noise or banging things or hitting things and some kind of yelling or dictatorship going on. Then I heard my 6-year-old yelling. She's yelling, "Stop! Stop, Nathan! Stop! Mommy, help! Help! He's breaking the TV!" And I just thought, okay, well, Nathan is 2 and our TV is 64 inches. I wasn't overly concerned. Also, my 6-year-old does occasionally make things pretty dramatic. She can narrate things like it's a dramatic documentary. So I walked downstairs calmly. The TV wasn't even on, so I thought everything's just fine, I casually grab the remote and I go to turn it on, and nothing. No signal. I thought, okay. So I did what every responsible adult does, and I unplugged it and waited about 10 seconds, then plugged it back in and tried to turn it on, and still nothing. I asked my oldest child, I said, okay, what happened? And she said, Nathan was attacking the TV with Spider-Man. Attacking the TV with Spider-Man. That evening, my husband tried again to turn on the TV, and he got some light on the TV working, and there was just those gray lines, the unmistakable gray lines of defeat. Spider-Man had finally conquered his greatest enemy, our TV. I stood there staring at the screen, thinking, I knew it. I knew that this vigilante could not be trusted. We had to buy a new TV, and this time we mounted it much higher so that even if Spider-Man developed some really cool webs with his swinging skills, he could not reach it. Hopefully. It's still working right now. After this experience, I had returned firmly to Team Superman. Calm, controlled, responsible. And honestly, I agree with the dramatic news reporter from Spider-Man World, J. Jonah Jameson, when he said, "Who is Spider-Man? He's a criminal. That's who he is." Because in our house, he took out the dogs, he assaulted the cat, and he destroyed the TV. Not exactly your friendly neighborhood hero. But somewhere in his room, there is still a 5-year-old who believes that he's the final, lastest Spider-Man. I have a lot of faith in that little boy.